Week 4. Week 4. This week we were into the week of auditions. It was a very nerve-wracking week because we were all the pressure's on. Everyone wants the specific role that they've had their eye on for a while. Originally, I wanted to play the Ice Queen because I'm quite used to playing characters that are very high status. So I'm quite used to playing the antagonist of a show. In Maleficent, I played Maleficent. Even the play that we did before, Half Sixpence, I had played Miss Walsingham, which was the antagonist of that. I am used to playing characters like that. I find it quite fun, but last year, what I did realise in that process, I felt quite isolated. And I don't think I behave in the same way that I play my characters because I am an actor. I know the difference between when I'm playing a character and when it is to myself. And I just find it easy to snap into those really dark places and changing energies in the room till it becomes uncomfortable or it becomes really eerie and uncomfortable. And I feel like that is one of my skills. So playing the Ice Queen would have been something that I would have been used to. So this time, going into the auditions, I said that I wanted to go for something I've never tried before. Playing the hero, playing a protagonist, playing the person that everyone wants to be at the end. I wanted to see what it felt like to have the opposite side of that. So this time I wanted to push myself and take a risk because it's really easy for me to hide behind an angry, alone, sultry character. Playing an openly happy character would be a challenge for myself because I'm really not used to being all smiley on stage I'm just not used to playing characters like that. So there were 3 stages of the audition. The first stage of the audition was to write a script for a character that we wanted. The second stage of the audition was to read one of the transcripts that we had received, or the scripts that we had received in the weeks before. We had received Facebook Worm, Stoat and Weasel, the Ice Queen and Bodrick, as well as performing a character song for a different character if we chose to do so. I decided to do 3 different characters for each because I wanted to show that I am a versatile actor. For my monologue, I did Moonicorn. For my script, I did the Ice Queen, and for my character song, I did Aslan. For my first piece of my audition as the Moonicorn, I had written a script. I wanted it to be comical, I wanted it to be funny, I wanted to show the sides of me that were quite silly. I really enjoyed playing the Moonicorn because she is very sassy and very carefree. I don't think that character would, if in the future when I look at it, I don't think that character will be someone that is shy. I think she will come on stage and she will drive everything that happens on stage. During my audition for the Moonicorn, I forgot my dialogue. I had written the dialogue prior. I had learnt it. I felt comfortable with it. I felt confident with it. As soon as I got into the audition space, nerves just hit me and I didn't say it in the right order. I'm going to let the panel know that I had messed up my dialogue because they didn't know what my dialogue was in the first place. So regardless of what I was saying, as long as I maintained character and I was keeping up to the rhythm of what I was saying, because it was quite a musical thing. I thought the Moonicorn would be quite musical and dainty. In that moment, I really had to blag, and that was the problem solving I enjoyed in that week. Not knowing my dialogue was something that I wasn't going to be able to just get out of. I couldn't just stand there on stage and deer in the headlights, not knowing what to say. So in that moment, I just said anything that I thought that character would have done, and doing that character so much, I automatically knew what she was like, so I could just say anything. Second section of the audition, I auditioned for the Ice Queen because I wasn't going to not audition for the Ice Queen because I wanted Aslan, because I still feel like playing the anarchist is one of my strengths, and I wasn't going to let that not be an option for myself. I used a scene with Bodrick and the Ice Queen because I feel like that is a scene where you really start to understand the relationship between Bodrick and the Ice Queen. She's so self-centered and has so little respect for the creatures around her that work so hard for her, and you really understand how little respect she has for Bodrick, even though he is probably one of her most trusted servants, has stuck by her side through pretty much anything and everything. I think the scene was quite funny. The dialogue was a bit jumbled up at points because I do struggle with cold reading, and it wasn't necessarily cold reading, but I do, like, because of my dyslexia, I find it hard to keep to script. For the character song, I chose I Know Where I've Been from Hairspray. I decided to use my character song as my audition for Aslan because I feel like my voice is one of my strengths. I feel like it's the way that how I communicate, the way that I feel truly, and I sometimes struggle to explain the way that I feel. I wanted them to see the pride, the strength, and the power in the song. Aslan is the lion. Aslan is the king of the entire forest. So I felt quite confident with my audition in that regard. I felt like I put as much effort as I could have. I rehearsed the song a lot, and also in the week I had lost my voice. I had to push myself to do the song knowing that it's not going to be at its best in terms of note structure and and how I was going to approach it as a vocalist, because I do consider myself a singer. I had to let that go and just use the character enough, and even if there were some bum notes, it didn't matter because it was more about the character than it is about the song. I also read in for a couple of the actors. I read in a few times for the Icicles. I love the Icicles. I think the Icicles are going to be very, very funny. I think the dynamic between the three are going to be quite an interesting element in terms of comedy, because they're all going to be so completely different. And I enjoyed each time coming into the room and trying a different type of icicle. I also read in for Aslan with Taylor. Taylor had written a script and she asked me to read it in with her. She had written a script for Alan and Aslan as if they were talking to themselves. It was a great idea for the piece as an entirety. If Alan and Aslan were different people and they came face to face, it would be that Aslan is now telling him to believe in himself, and that he finally grows to see who he can become. My strengths this week, I was able to show my strengths of vocal manipulation. I do think that I am able to adapt my voice into certain situations. When it came to auditioning, every single one of my characters had a different voice, and it's very interesting to look at a character that's quite sultry and smooth and quite musical and melodic as the Moonicorn, and then going into someone that's strict, harsh, direct, quite grounded as the Ice Queen. Another strength of mine would be, I think, comedy. I think I have a natural gauge for comedy, and I didn't realize that until this process. I don't tend to think of myself as a funny person, but when reading scripts, I understand where the punchlines are and I understand how to hit it, because it's written there for you, and so you just say it in the way that the punctuation and the words have been set for you. I feel like I've got a natural sense of comedic timing. Even last week with the 8-minute pieces, we got quite a good reaction from a lot of the jokes, which I had suggested in our group and put ideas towards. So it's a skill that I've gained, so I'm quite happy. My weaknesses this week would have been my nerves. My weakness this week, I had to battle my nerves a lot and my anxiety a lot, because I am a perfectionist and I want to make sure that I go into a place showing the best of everything that I've done. I do put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that I don't do anything wrong, which is quite bad, because we're here to learn and we're here to fall and make mistakes and take risks. So putting that pressure on myself wasn't good, and it made me end up messing up the first part of my audition. But after that moment, I had decided that I'm not gonna ruin it for myself. I'm not going to let my nerves tell me, oh, you might mess up this. I'm just gonna see what I could do, forget about all of the worries, forget about all of the thoughts for just a second, and just do instead of think. One of my weaknesses this week, and a weakness that I've had for quite a while, is comparing myself to other actors. There's so many strong actors in our company, and everyone has such a different range of different skills, and it's hard to not compare yourself to other people, because you look at what they do and you think, wow, that's really, really good. I could never do anything like that. And I don't think it's a healthy way of thinking, because I never give myself enough credit for what I can do, and I'm always looking at what everyone else is doing and wanting to do what they can. So I think I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks focusing on myself and letting myself grow and learn, rather than being like, oh, this person can do that and I can't, so they're better than me. Yeah. Week 4.